Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking a look into the chances of severe weather for later today, and also there's going to be another chance for severe weather for later this week. Now let's go ahead and get started. Take a look into the Storm Prediction Center Outlook here. We're looking on a different website here, so I'm going to tell you what everything is here. But on your top left here, this is the categorical outlook here. So as you can see, there's a slight risk for severe storms anywhere from eastern Arkansas through northern Mississippi, Alabama, northwest of Georgia, and central and southern Tennessee. Top right here is your tornado risk. As you can see there's a 5% chance for a tornado in any given point in a 25-mile radius. And at the bottom left, this is your hail risk, just a 15% risk area. And bottom right, it's also your wind risk here. So all threats are on the table. We can see a couple of supercells in this 5% area, probably more than likely along the state lines there, Tennessee, then Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. More than likely on those state lines there. It's a corridor we probably need to keep an eye on here. Now, let's go ahead and look into my forecast here, which is something that I just made here. So day one, I've issued an enhancers for severe storms. This is where we have probably most of the shear and most of your instability in the area. Where most of these agreements have been coming together to bring in some damaged winds. There's going to be increased risk for tornadoes and even some large hail. It's still in a 50% slight risk area. And you got a slight risk surrounding that. That does include the Atlanta area. That enhanced risk does include Chattanooga. And also that slight risk does include portions of Nashville and even Birmingham, Alabama. And that margin of risk does spread northwest into Missouri and Arkansas there. That's where we have an increased chance for some large hail there because of those slap rates there. And let's move back to the SPC Outlook here. And I've heard there's probably a chance for enhanced risk for the SPC today. We're not finished yet. Let's go on to day 4, which is Friday. We got 50% slight risk across eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, southeast Kansas, and southwest of Missouri. All threats are on the table at this point here. Large hail, damage to winds, and maybe even a couple tornadoes. Now, the problem with this setup here is this is going to be happening overnight, where the cap breaks. There's going to be capping throughout most of the day, but as you get to the evening hours and overnight hours, the cap's going to break. Then you got a line of storms that'll be developing in that area. Wait a minute, we're not finished yet. Day 5, which is Saturday, we got a 50% slight risk across portions of, again, Nashville. So Nashville is getting really bad luck with the severe weather. It also includes northeast Mississippi, northwest Alabama, again, a good chunk central and west central of Tennessee, and again, southwest central Kentucky in that 50%. Now, I think this is going to need some changes on here because the models are, updated a little bit, and I could see this 50% getting expanded here. And as we kind of take a look into this, in our discussion here, and there's going to be deep layer shear. It's going to be forecasted. It will be pretty strong to support a severe weather threat. Damage winds, hail, possibility a tornado threat could develop Saturday afternoon. Now, again, I do see some capping that might happen on Saturday. So, we'll be taking a look into those in just a moment. But here's my forecast here. And as you can see here, day 4, kind of similar. But I think I have a little further to the east here where those storms will develop. But they will die down into the Saturday morning. They'll be dying down. Then moving on to day 5, which is Saturday. As you can see here, it's quite a bit different. You can see here your 50% slack rest does expand into most of Kentucky. There, even into most of Tennessee, and it still does include portions of Alabama and Mississippi. Again, all threats are on the table with this. Now let's go ahead and take a look into some of the ingredients here. We'll first take a look into the Super Silk Composite for the GFS here. We're going to kind of skip by on, well, not really, but as you can see here, the Super Silk Composite is a little bit elevated across Alabama and Georgia. And right now, this morning here, they're getting some flash flooding issues across northern Alabama, which is not good. They do not need any more rain up in northern Alabama. And that flash flood threat is going to continue into Georgia as well. And we should probably take a look into the herd model really quick whenever I think about it. So it's updating on this 14Z. So we'll move on to the 13Z. So it's Super Silk Composite. As you can see here, you got your Super Silk Composite pretty elevated, especially across back into a bit further west here. I got a 17. This is very high res here. As you can see here, I'll take a look at the photograph. Looks pretty good for a potential tornado. Everything looks pretty good overall. There's no capping in place or anything like that. Now, if we move on a little bit later into the evening hours, so say it picks back up again in Tennessee, that'd be the last one we'll be taking a look into. We'll take a look into your future radar, and I'm pretty similar, basically. Let's take a look into your future radar here. So, this is what we have going on. Basically, right now, you got some showers and thunderstorms that be trading across northern Alabama, and even expanding into northern Georgia. That's going to be kind of concerning because they might weaken the atmosphere a little bit, make it a little bit more stable, but I think it might be able to recover later because that's your warm front there. As you can see, they're pushing to the northeast, and here comes your storms developing here, especially across Tennessee here. You got some potential supercells there, and you can see there as they expand, moving southeast there. And yes, there's going to be severe weather threat for the Atlanta metro. It's just those guys are going to have to keep an eye on it. What's really bad about it, it's going to be happening overnight. So it's not really good news for them guys there. But let's go ahead and move on to later this weekend here. This storm system has potential for a blizzard across the northern plains in the upper Midwest here. We've been talking about this for a couple of days on this storm system. And this is 9 o'clock in the morning. You got maybe an isolated thunderstorm perhaps in that area in the morning, but seems like later days. Seems like some of the storms actually do stick around. But, it's that capping, though, it's gonna kind of push back the severe weather threat. But later in the day, bam, into the overnight hours, you got storms here that are going to be developing in that area. Your low pressure system will be moving northeast pretty close into Iowa City, Chicago, Milwaukee. And here's 1 o'clock here. Now, if this low pressure shifts to the south, the severe weather threat will go up. It will. If this low pressure system does move south, which the GFS had the place for the low pressure system passing a little south of Chicago, but it doesn't really show that. It's following the European model solution. And again, you can see there's some heavy snow on the north and west side. Let's move back to the European model. So here's new. You don't really have any showers of thunderstorms going on. Here we go, moving on 6 o'clock. Bam. You got a line of strong severe thunderstorms anywhere from northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, through central Tennessee into central Kentucky. And you can see there, that's thunderstorm coverage does increase as it gets into eastern Kentucky. Um, but looking onto the GFS here, it's a little slower, but I think this has a little bit more realistic look. As you can see, it's not a perfect line of storms, but it does indicate there might be some supercells here, which I've learned for somebody that we have lines like this here. That's an indication there could be some supercells, especially when you have that look for the European model. That's something pretty key to really keep an eye on. That's why I have that 50% slight risk pretty far to the north of the SPC because the European model has the severe weather threat about that far north, and also the GFS, even expanding into Ohio as well. Which we're going to keep an eye on this. Keep in mind, it's going to be a really mild day on Saturday. Here's 3 o'clock here. It's going to be pretty mild. Now, let me tell you something. It's going to be milder than what these models are showing. If there's going to be any much of cloud cover, which is not in a few areas around 3 o'clock. Then you get storms that do develop. Yeah, not a lot of cloud cover to really talk about here. So this area here is going to be pretty favorable for storms. Central and eastern Kentucky, probably very similar situation. Let's back this up a little bit. Nah, not so much for Tennessee. You're stuck in cloud cover, so there'll probably be a chance for 80s out here in central eastern Kentucky, which is May this time of year. So take a look into the Cape Index here. So it seems like the GFS at this point here is bringing the war front, passing over Kentucky there. Here comes your cold front here. So this is an included front right here. If I get my pin out, and your included front is really going to be in purple here. So here's your included front right here. Something like this here. Then your warm front will be something like this. And your cold front will be something like this here. So right now in this area, right in here for the GFS ball is probably an area to really keep an eye on. Right here, if this does verify. Now again, if this low pressure system moves a little further to the south, like if this low pressure system kind of starts out here, kind of moves here, and moves right here, this area would be very concerning here because that's really going to increase the tornado threat there. Now, I do disagree a little bit with the European model. Look into the European model here. It's a little bit farther north with a low pressure system, but look at the lack of instability. I highly disagree with this because we all know that there's going to be more instability than what this is showing here. Now, let me take a look at the cloud cover here. So that's 6 o'clock, but let's move a little bit back to like 10 o'clock. There's not as much clouds in central Kentucky, even in southern Indiana. So you might be able to get some partly cloudy skies. But then as you get to the afternoon hours, there's not a lot of sunshine there, unfortunately. But then your storms start to explode there. There's going to be a little bit of capping there as well, so that's going to prevent some supercells to try to develop, which is good news there for now. Now, a lot of things can change from now till then with this storm system. I think we'll take a look at a couple more phase very quickly. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything else. Let's take a look into the lap rates here. And even James Spann said it on his daily weather report on the YouTube channel, talking about these models here are not really showing. There's going to be more instability than what the models are showing, which I highly agree. But these are medium range models, so they're not that high res or anything like that. But we're looking at lap rates here. So anything above 7 degrees Celsius, that's good for severe weather. That's really going to help storms develop. So here's 18Z on Friday. It's pretty healthy out there. It's very healthy. Then those storms will explode. As you can see there, it goes out dramatically as the sun goes down. Then as you move on to Saturday here, so here's 18Z. It's not that impressive across northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, maybe even to portions of Tennessee, but Kentucky, though, it's looking pretty good so far for those lap rates there. So that's really going to help storms develop. That will increase the hail threat potential as well. So you got a little bit of a colder air aloft. And we'll take a look into surface-based CAPE. So this is surface-based instability, convective, with a potential energy here. As you can see here, it's going to be pretty high, I believe. At least it should be high. Yeah, it's not. But again, there's going to be more CAPE than what's showing here. There's going to be more instability. Again, this is kind of averaging things out, so. But this is still good for severe weather. It's not bad. 750 joules per kilogram. It's not bad, but when you get over 1,000, that's good. That's good. Like up here into Illinois, which we'll get a forecast setting up there, but it looks good on here. But the reason why there's not 50%, if you haven't seen on the past couple of times here on Windy here, there's not much of any storm activity up there. So that's why there's not even 50%, even though the dynamics are there for severe weather. Now, if there's storms up there, that's going to be pretty concerning for Springfield and Chicago because there's a lot of wind shear up there in Helicity. So, um, if there's going to be storms up there, there's probably going to be a good chance they're going to be rotating up there. So, Illinois is going to have to keep an eye on it if any storm does develop. But this is still far out. Today is Tuesday, and this event is on Saturday. So, we'll be keeping an eye on things here. Things will likely change. But anyways, guys, this is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this severe weather update. If you guys did like this update, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys got questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I will answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.